Hello everyone, this is me, Vismay from Not the Medieval Age, and it has been 2 weeks, almost 2 weeks since we have got Path of Exile 2 as an early access, and the game is yet to be released. And the game is released with 6 classes, and I have played other ARPG games as well, like Diablo, the older Path of Exile, Elden Ring. If I can say, it's more like Souls-like, but it can consider as the action RPG as well. So this all gameplay has made me think about the classes that these games are offering to us. So if in Path of Exile, all the classes we can select from any classes, but any class that we select is able to build any kind of other classes build as well. For example, so far in the Path of Exile 2, I have been playing as a ranger class, but still it is allowing me to build all the elemental skills, even if I can select the hammer and all the physical. So basically all the builds that requires more strength, I can build that as well. And obviously I'm building the archery skills as well. But if I compare this particular path with the Diablo, how the Diablo is giving us the classes, so basically what Diablo does is that you have to, or the player has to create a new character in order to try and build with the new skills, new character. So basically if you are a, let's say, sorceress, then you cannot build or use or even try any skills that the barbarian or the other classes like necromancer is offering to you. But that is not the case for the Elden Ring or let's say the Path of Exile. Elden Ring also offers you 10 classes when you create a new character, but it's just more about playing with the attributes, that like which attributes you need with the start of the game. After all, obviously you are going to level up your character and you are going to allocate the different attributes based on your need. And that is again the same case with the Path of Exile as well. So what Path of Exile does different in this scenario is the skill tree. So based on that skill tree design, what available based on your class is that either you can improve your projectile damage or you can improve your physical melee, the close combat damage. So that is different. But as a player or as a designer, I have a question like, do we really need to worry, or should we, as a designer, should we really design, or as a player, do we really need these classes, or do we need a more approach like Elden Ring, like offer us everything, and we will decide how to create our own character and how to build the current character so it is helpful in the combat. So that is exactly what Elden Ring does. So even if you select a particular class, it's just attributes that you are allocating from the start of the game. After that, you are free to improve any ability, improve any attributes, and that goes same with the Path of Exile as well. But that is not the case for the Diablo. So my question to you guys is that what you would have done differently. For example, if I'm the designer, what I could have thought of is that I could have provided you all the things to a similar character. So I would have saved you the trouble of recreating the new character and playing from the beginning, or in some cases like just playing the same stuff again so you can make your character even more tougher. I would have given you all the things to the player, like this is everything that is available to you, and I would have played with the attributes, which Elden Ring also does. Like even in the Path of Exile, like you need, let's say, 34 intelligence to use this staff, or you need 55 dexterity to use this bow. And I would have played with the world design, like if you have created an archer build, then you are very effective in certain area of the world. But if you have created an sorceress build, then you are not that much effective in the archer area where the archer is required. So this is how I would have thought of giving the player the ability, or giving the player to recreate the same character from the scratch with all the attributes or all the skill points that they have gathered so far, and just use a different build or different versions of the build in the different area of the world, so they can be effective in all the areas. Like this part is very effectively implemented by Elden Ring. Like once all the bosses are not the same, and the same build you cannot use against all the bosses. It would have definitely, you must have felt like this, with this build this boss is very easy, this boss is very hard. And that's exactly what, in my opinion, the approach should be. Like, give us everything, or as a designer, provide everything to the players, and let the player decide how kind of character or how kind of skill tree they would like to design, instead of like a Diablo, like limiting player, like if you're a sorcerer, play with this fire, ice, electricity build, and if you're a barbarian, go with the close combat range and all that. I see that as an limitation. It might not be for all of you, but do let me know in the comments what would you have done as a designer or as a player. Do you really need all these classes? Because down the line now, I see all these classes as a similarity with just different attributes, and you are just doing like as a player, we all are doing just all the same things again and again, and that is somehow tedious. I think as a designer, I want my players to be more play in the world, more to play with the world, with the enemies, instead of just finding this weapon, finding this armor, and create a effective build. Once the build is effective, I think the game should provide the players enough opportunities to try out. Not just like if one boss is too hard, let's go back and create another build. That somewhere I see as a tedious. You might be liking it. I see that as a tedious. So do let me know in the comments what would you have done, what would you want as a player, or what would you have done as a designer. Like, do you really design different classes, or would you go with one class which can do everything, and it's up to the player where they want to focus? Thank you so much.